Hello, Isaac. So before we proceed, could you please introduce yourself to our listening audience, who you may not, who may not know you, and just briefly talk about some of the amazing work you've been doing.
Okay, okay. I don't know. Do you have do you have a benchmark? Do you have something you are referencing from? Okay.
Yeah,
Uh. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. My name is Isaac Sixtus Chizaram. I'm well known as Zara. So
okay,
I'm a
yeah,
visual designer. I want to free software and also work on paid softwares. And I've been in the design field professionally for about 4 to 5 years. And I do design for a living. And this is and I don't just create designs. I create designs to express myself. So if you actually go through my works or stuff I've done, whether it's open source, paid, I always want to give out my best. So that's it.
okay. That sounds interesting. It just gives me an idea of the Steve Jobs vibes and something like that. Because I remember like watching a couple of documentation from him, and he always talked about like designing something that expresses the work and is meaningful to like the people. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah.
Like like let's say design. I see design as not just for aesthetics. I see design as a skill you have to solve problems. Yeah, and it should be
Uh,
like targeted at global problems. That's why I make sure that whenever I'm working on any project, be it open source software, open source softwares, service as a product or service as a service, paid project, I always want to give out my best. Yeah,
yeah.
but right now I want us to focus on open source softwares. Okay, I don't want to divert projects. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I always want to give out my best. And yeah, so far I've noticed that the designs for some open source softwares have been getting better so far, because incredible designers have been jumping and I've been doing some amazing things so far.
uh,
So yeah, I forgot to add something. I'm bilingual. I speak like Mandarin, like Chinese.
Wow,
Yeah.
that must be interesting, like to speak Chinese.
Yeah,
I don't know,
like
I would
it
love
has been
maybe to learn
incredible.
the language.
Like it
Yeah,
has
I
been
would love
incredible
to learn.
because you can learn too, because like it has been flexible for me to I'll be speaking at Force Asia, like
Okay.
this March. And like when I spoke at open up summit, it was very, very flexible and exciting, because I got the platform to speak like Chinese, like, hey, ni hao ma, ta she shua, how you guys doing, stuff like that. And it was so cool, like like interacting with the Asians. And yeah, sure. So I actually got to like learn an extra language because I want to like make global impact. And how I can be able to do that is to add foreign languages too, so I can
Yeah,
ease communication. You know,
that's really
yeah.
incredible. Yeah, that's
Thanks.
amazing. Okay, so moving on to our next question is I understand that you're passionate about the visual and the brand design. So can you please share with us what in your opinion makes a great design?
Okay. In my own opinion, believe I believe that good design should solve problems. You know, it should be simple, it should be flexible, it should be unique, and it should stand out. For example, if you look at like Penpot, a Penpot is an open source design software. If you know about
Mm,
Penpot, it's an open source design software that is used to create interactions and prototype. You can prototype with it and also do some visual elements. Okay, so if
uh,
you check how the branding and how the brand design and the design systems are, you see that they are very unique and quite different from other open source design softwares. Same
okay.
thing applies to all these communication softwares that are open source. The designs are quite different. So I believe that like we should actually take design seriously, because it helps to differentiate us from from other paid softwares. Hope you get.
Mhm.
Because yeah, open source softwares, there are open source softwares that are also paid software. So when we apply great design, when we apply proper branding to open source software, we'll be able to stand out and compete
Yeah.
against paid softwares. So for
Yeah.
example, you should know about Event Year.
Yes. Yes.
Event,
Yes.
yeah, you can see how awesome the platform is. It's on open source, like it's open
Yeah.
source, and you get, so that's it. So when I think the product designs helps to shoot out, like helps to make this the marketing easier, and helps to like
Okay.
promote the products to
Okay.
all sphere of life, all sphere of like location and all. That's why I always want to center my designs to problem solving, because you don't know the problem you're solving, you don't know who are helping. And so far, design is just not is not just based to make stuff beautiful like aesthetics. It's there to you know uh, 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 make sure that there is good and intentional accessibility and inclusion. For example, colors, you should know, because there's some persons that are color blinded, that they can't get to see some stuff and everything. And that's why, if you check very well, I'm so happy that open source software are trying to make that platform more inclusive in terms of design and accessible for everyone. So good design should be accessible, should be inclusive, should be functional, should stand out. It should
Yeah.
solve problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
I actually think that's a really nice thing because like there was a bit of some design element that I sort of like got to stumble upon, which deals with people, people who don't have like access to like the keyboard, and they sort of like use these keys to like use probably the software. So describing like the images and adding all the captions was really something that I felt would have been useful. So when you talk about design, I feel like yeah, that's a really important thing for like most of the people who do design in this aspect. Anyway, so yeah, so anyway, I noticed you shared on the IMF blog that you are currently working on the brand identity for the Python package installer, the pip install. So could you briefly talk about what inspired you to take up this task in particular?
Okay. Okay. I worked on this. I contributed to like to package install, okay, a Python
Uh,
package installer, the Python package installer, like and the brand identity. I saw the job opening on open source design, like listing, and all, like, whoa, man, like this would be great for me to like jump on. Yeah, sure, there are other contributors, but how to like jump on it. I don't know if I can be able to share my screen, or take on the presenter role right now,
yeah,
so I
yeah, yeah.
can.
You can actually share your screen and then probably maybe show like a brief about it.
Okay, how can I be able to okay, see, let me get to upload. I'll upload right now.
Okay.
So so it was like an awesome experience, because it made me to learn new things, and I was trying to like be consistent and make sure that everything was in sync.
Yeah.
uh okay, I think I have this. As I'm not sharing my screen. I'm uploading it, so it can be, I wouldn't want the quality to be messed up.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. So I guess you're going to be uploading, like the website. I mean the resources.
I'm I'm trying to upload the like the project. It's in a PDF.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That sounds nice. Okay, so in the meantime, maybe you could basically just talk about some of the inconsistencies you have noticed in the design and the brand identity, probably in some of the projects, open source projects that you have worked on. And what exactly was your role in like improving, like these the visual or the design element of these open source projects?
Okay, at first, um I got into open source uh, just a year and 6 months ago. Yeah, I guess, or probably more than that. Okay. I was under the umbrella of Samsung Godi because I had no idea about open source until I attended open source the festival Africa that was hosted
Yeah,
here in Nigeria. And I got there, I met amazing speakers like Ariel Fox, Ashley, Amanda Kasari, and Rachel, and they gave me insight about open source, how it works, and how I can contribute, and how I can be able to solve problems. And so far, I think after attending the open source festival, that was when I actually got into the Drupal family. Like I contributed so far to the Drupal family that I was part of the track for the Drupal Con like Europe. So after
yeah, yeah,
that, I was like, I was invited to become a program committee for the Drupal Con North America that is happening this year, 2021. And yeah, sure. So you see that it's beyond just like design, but I came with intention of like, the problem solving with my visual like skills. And yeah, I actually hit that, and I was so happy that wherever I contribute, I see my work, okay, like solving problems on a global
yeah,
uh so okay, yeah, I think this is the deck. Awesome.
yeah,
Hope you
yeah.
can see
Okay.
my screen.
Yeah, I can.
So so I always design like logos this way. I I
Okay.
don't like to pull out logos like in JPEG or PNG and send them across in white and black background. So always want to present them so that they can be able to understand the thought process behind the icon, the word
Mm.
mark, the color, the typography, and so
Yeah,
on. So
yeah.
let's get started.
Okay.
Oh, this is taking a long time. I are you seeing a white background?
Yeah, I sort of see a white background, then I see like another background that shows up, showing like what am I doing? I think the title.
uh like they're all showing
Okay,
white
so
background.
now I see a white background.
It's not meant to be white background.
Okay. Okay, now it has changed to something that has like an open source title. Okay,
Oh, I
so
think
we're
I
back.
think it's, I think it's taking like longer time to catch up or something.
Okay.
Let me just I think I have to just share my screen. How can I be able to do that?
Yeah, there's like an option where you can share the screen, or you could probably, I think.
Yeah, I think they're coming up little by little, but it's taking a good number of time. I think it should be from the
Okay,
pixels because they're of higher quality and the files are quite large. That's the reason.
okay, okay.
So I don't know how can I get to share my screen?
You're actually sharing your screen right now because I
Okay,
am seeing, yeah, the screen on my
okay,
side.
okay. I think I have to just do this. Are you seeing my screen? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I can see you're sharing a slide that includes the title, What Am I Doing? Yeah.
okay, cool. So this is it. You can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Awesome, awesome. I have to go this way. So you can see that this is the identity deck for like the Python package installer. I didn't get to design it to, you know, like normal, like some designers, open source designers design stuff and then they send them as white and black background, and yeah, sure. But I always want to like present, I always want to like story tell my design process. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. Oh man, what happened? Okay, next page. So what am I doing? I'll be communicating the thought process for the Python, the package installer. It's gonna be a bumpy one, but let's see how it goes. It's already bumpy because so yeah.
Yeah,
So like what is like a pip install? You know, like it's more like a play store of Python, like a manager where you can get to like download stores. You know,
yeah.
so it's like in details and yeah, sure. Alright. So this is like this is a well designed element from the identity. Yeah, this is
Hmm.
the logo, like a
Oh, it
mock-up
looks
for it.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
So what was the idea like behind, like this concept, like I don't know, it's
Okay.
like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
like a
sure.
snake or something?
Yeah, I'm driving towards that, but yeah, let's do that right now. So I got a guide on how the identity should be. You know, they gave us so many references about it being a mascot, about it being like a monogram, about it being a combinational mark and stuff like that. Yeah, but they wanted, since the parent brand, which is the Python, has a snake kind of identity, like a snake like mascot identity, and they wanted us to reference something from there. And they said it can be either be flat or filled. You know, so if you check this out, if you check this out, you see that I actually had to simplify this. This is how they wanted the word mark. They wanted the word mark to be solo. They didn't
Yeah.
want you want designers, because they gave us a guide. You don't want the designers to put the Python package installer, stuff like that. You wanted it to be pip. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you look at this, you see that this is kind of inverted, and if you follow my like mass cursor direction, you see that it's kind of forming a shape, a letter shape,
Yeah, yeah.
which is P.
Yeah.
You can see
Yeah,
that
it's sort of
looks like a
uh,
P. Yeah, so that's for one. And yeah, another one is the like this the shape, the skeletal shape of a
mhm.
snake, which is more like a core symbol for the Python parent brand. Yes, like I think I
Yeah.
should that for that I'll show you something else. So these are the other ways the identity can be displayed, black and white. This, yeah. So it can be this, it can be this, it can be this. But it's like a mock-up, you just show for it. Going further, this is a mock-up of how it will look if it's applied on the website. This is the website for the package installer. And yeah, this is how I actually illustrated it to be.
Okay, that looks amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
this just cut out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can see this, if you can see this.
Yeah, I can see the icon.
Okay, okay. So it's more like an illustration of how it's going to look like if it's part of you know this. So going for that, like wrong applications of this Python package install, it shouldn't be this way. it shouldn't be this way, shouldn't be this
Mm-hmm.
way. So I actually added this stuff so that like the if this
Mm.
is going to be chosen for the official identity, the designers that get to contribute to a pip install
Mm-hmm.
will take this into consideration, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. So the alignment, I designed this logo with the well-known well-known coding ratio so that it can be resizable and visible upon scaling. So you can see the proper alignment, that everything is well aligned. No, so you see that is beyond just aesthetics. It's here to solve problem, because this is an icon that will be used on so many platforms. Like it can be printed on T-shirt, it can be used for event branding, it can be used for like the personal icon. So upon resizing, it should be visible. I don't know if you have gotten to
Yeah.
see some logos that when you design them, they look good when they are resized, like resized very large, and then when you resize them into a smaller scale, they get to disappear. So this was
Yeah.
designed
Yeah.
yeah, in such a way that upon scaling to still be visible. That's one thing. So
Mm.
I designed it with golden ratio principle. Yep. So the question you asked about the concept, okay, how did I do this? How did I do that? Which I earlier jumped on. Okay, I'll be going back to it. So if you see everything was referenced from the parent, like I said, the Python. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, which is an install program for the Python packages. So the icon inspiration was drawn from the Python related logo, because we are actually given a hint. Given a hint and a guide on how this can be done. So this logo was designed to have like a balance of youthfulness, playfulness, and professionalism in respect to the PIP brand, the PIP install brand story, and crafting the meaning into the PIP identity. It represents openness, because yeah, it
Yeah.
represents open. That's why the logo is this logo here is not like a field kind of logo, it's an outline kind of logo. So you can see spaces in between. So those spaces you see that are not filled represents openness, playfulness, slickness, abstract, and balance. And that's what they wanted. They wanted logo that will display some kind of usefulness, informality, and also solving problem. Yeah, you should know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like most of the people that like doing this stuff, that are using like Python software, the Python like people install to do their stores, uh mostly from like 20 to like 35. And you should know that we have more youths that are engaged into coding and into tech related stuffs. So you have to make it to have this balance of usefulness in respect to the people like install brand story.
Yeah.
So yeah, the brand color was referenced from the introverted like color scheme. They give us a guide, like I said earlier. They wanted us to use an introverted scheme to work on this on this brand identity, and they said yeah, must be introverted, and it shouldn't be like plain color. So I made my research. I had to like design, like I had to create a, a color scheme for this. And yeah, sure, I got it all figured out. So looking at this, the age, that this is the parent brand, and the icon has this curved affiliated age, which made it
Yeah.
look like a folder. So if you look at this, then look at this. Hope you get to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like there are lots of concepts, like put together, and it's sort of like, gives, like the whole Python vibe, like from the whole Python project logo. And I'm seeing like a lot of folders. So it's just you infuse like a couple of ideas together, which really looks amazing.
yeah, like I said earlier, the goal here is to solve problems, okay, and make sure that
Uh,
this icon is used as an identity for the PIP install brand. And yeah, we have the npm, and yeah, sure, is the PIP, the Python install package. And yeah, looking at this, you can see that everything is all like creatively articulated. to represent
Yeah.
the pip install brand story. And yeah, sure. Moving over to the next, the color. So this color, like I took it, I crafted it out to be an introverted color scheme so that it can be applied on all the marketing and the promotion materials for the part for Python packaging store. And sure, this stuff can be applicable on websites, apps, poster, infographics, and all. So the next one, yeah, this is the color. This is the color. This is the primary color. This is a
Hmm.
subordinate. This is normal neutral color. So you all know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pattern
They are.
or the pattern or visual elements. This can be used for infographics, website design, and all. So also this can be used for like for apparel designs, probably on sleeves and stores. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is well constructed for the Peep brand.
Yeah.
The typography, I had to use something cool. Aveni regular and the medium was what I selected for this, and it worked well because it was very visible, scalable, and it's it solved the exact problem I wanted it to. So the stickers, which the emphasize that okay, you want to see how this cool identity you're creating for us looks on stickers. I want to
On
see
stickers.
how
Yeah.
visible it looks. Yeah, sure, I did that, and yeah, so I can't
Yeah.
wait to have this if this is gonna be like the Peep brand logo for real. So I can't wait to have one of the stick at the back of my PC. So yeah,
I know it does look amazing, like I love stickers, so I always, like put a couple of stickers for like different open source projects on my PC. So yeah, I think this
yeah,
is incredible as well.
of course it should be. It should be. So yeah, as you can see, the stickers they how visible and how attractive it looks. But this is like a mock-up to illustrate it. So the apparels, when we design these logos, we have to print them out, and that's like when I said earlier about designing a logo that will be scalable and that will be functional on all on all aspects based on printing, based on scaling, based on it being applied on all like let's marketing website and all on like all of that. So the apparel side, the cloth line is not left out because you all know that the Python always organize this this conference or festival almost every year, and sure
Yeah, yeah,
these stuffs can be shared at conferences or sold. So and I have to put this into consideration. I have to make it sure it's visible, scalable, and attractive.
yeah. I
You can
actually think
see,
apparel is really important. So most of like the people, the contributors in like the open source stream is they sort of like come because of like this swag and all that stuff that is given out at these
you're right.
events. So yeah, so
You're right.
it's just something I like to work on.
You're right. Like you're 100% right. And it is okay. It is so. This is something that can be printed to. Yeah, we are good to go. So this is an overall like logo proposal for the Python the packaging store, and I can't wait for this to be used there. Maybe or maybe not. Just that we also have other contributors that are also working on this, and their works are too are also amazing. But yeah, this is what I have. This is what I've shown.
I think it's a great concept, like I love how detailed you put up the story together and how everything, like you have assembled like the whole documentation. I just really think this is amazing work that I've been doing. I'm really like, like inspired. I'm not really so much of like a designer myself, but I feel like this is really incredible, like especially given the fact that you're representing like the identity of like an organization like the Python installer. So yeah, that's really amazing. Anyway, so like moving forward, I think I would like to ask what do you think like the open source managers, let's say like the ones that the Python package installer, like what do you think they should address in terms of like this concern of brand identity? like the open source project. So what should I be like looking for in the brand identity?
Okay, okay, yeah. I think we should just look out for identities that solve problems. That it's not just
Yeah.
beautiful, but it should be functional. It should sell the brand when the brand is not telling that story. You know,
Yeah.
you all know that we are so used to. Okay, I want to use open source software as an example. Eventia, and all those open source platform. That's so, I want to Penpots too. You know, the Python, the like Linux Foundation, and you should know that whenever you see the Linux Foundation identity, you know that, oh, this is the Linux Foundation. Whenever you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
the
it's a
Git,
it's quite
yeah,
a
this is
large
the
organization right now.
yeah,
So
yeah, sure. So I'm kind of like I'm kind of also working on like Linux Foundation public health identity currently, and speaking with the committee manager Jenny on that. So I think they should adopt not just aesthetic but the icons or the logos or the wordmark and everything should solve problems because that's where they don't get it. Some I've got to see some open source sources, they all good, the platform is all nice, but the identity is kind of shabby, because I guess most times because these projects are not paid, some designers that just come just want to give out what they have, and I won't lie, it's what you can give out, and most times what they know might not be the standard or the professional kind of it, so they give out what they know at that level, at that realm. So but I think logos and identity should be considered professionally in any open source software, because that's like the frame, that's like the like let's say that's like the pillar of any brand. Because for example, you can't talk about your open like the software without showing me the icon. Okay, this is your open source ID, this is your open source brand. Okay, this is your community. Okay, I want to know what it stands for. You just have to show me the identity. Okay, you cannot like literally tell me um okay, this is Python without showing me the Python logo. You cannot tell me this is Linux without
yeah,
showing me Linux. Without showing me this is GitHub without showing me GitHub's logo. So there's something that should be there to identify. So I think all open source managers and open source founders should consider like to make sure that their logos are there or what they use to represent themselves identify and solve problems. It shouldn't be aesthetic. It shouldn't be all beautiful. It should solve that problem. The colors should be well considered. The typography should be well considered in alignment with the brand story. You know, yeah, that's it.
yeah, yeah. I think I've noticed, like Google has this thing whereby people redesign the logo. I think something like that. So whenever you sort of like log into like the Google webpage, you sort of see like a new logo and for the month or something like that, depending on like whatever is
The
happening within the
event.
years and stuff. And I feel like from what you've said, this basically talks about the story about what Google is about. Because when think of Google, I think of search. And given the fact that people can design a logo to illustrate probably what is currently being searched upon. So yeah, so basically, I feel like yeah, what you talk about the logo being like telling the story of like a brand is something that see Google has put into like place with their like logo designs and their does like this monthly designs and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
so
that's one good thing about Google. They are very consistent. You see, they play around like no matter how they tend to change the visual elements due to events, you can see consistencies. You can see that they don't joke with the red, blue, yellow, and green. They always want to apply it with some kind of youthful concept. And for example, like Mother's Day celebration, see that how we tend to do some stuff like some illustrations that depict that, but check very well the brand colors are consistent. The typography. Okay, I would like to ask, have you ever seen Google do some stuff, some design some stuff that are quite different and see them applying a different typography? Never. They
no.
always apply it according to the same typography. So if this is GOOG, GOOGLE, you see that when the illustration has been done, it will look like that. It's not going to be horizontal. You know, would be, you know, how you get me. So they always want to apply this. They're always consistent, no matter how they tend to like go and play around and give us like nice concepts. But you see that they're always consistent with their typography and their brand colors. So that's it. That
Yeah,
I thought something about functional identity. It should solve problem and it's meant to identify. Like
yeah.
nevertheless, yeah, that's
Okay, so do you believe improving the design of open source projects has a way it impacts probably like the community and basically like people contributing to like that particular open source project?
of course. I totally believe that because like you solving problems, you must have something unique to identify it. You have something unique that people can identify it for. You know, yeah. For example, like good identity should be adopted. Like it should be, like it's a must because you having a good framework, you having the good strategy and everything, and you can communicate your identity very well to be whack. That's why every company, every organizations have the marketing, they have the engineering, they have the product, you know, the market, and they
Mm,
also have the brand. So all those segments help solve each problem, and the brand is the most important because the brand determines how the product will look like. The brand
mm,
segment determines how whether the product will have a yellow like text field or have this kind of font or have this kind of color. So the brand side and the marketing side should be like considered and should be taken very very well. And I urge open source founders and open source like contributors to make sure that they do this with all their minds. I know most times open source projects are free, you know, gratis, and some of them are paid, but like let's nevertheless do it with all your heart, like contribute like is your last, and you happy that stuff you are doing out there is out there solving problems for you, and that's like a good relief for anyone, you know. So I think everyone should adopt like good design whatever they are doing, because that's the thing. If you're adopting good design, you're surely solving problems and surely getting more engagement and surely going to make good money from it. And
yeah,
good
so
design is the framework for any business, you know. And with you,
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, like the design basically communicates the identity of like the project, which basically leads to more people engaging with the project and actually contributing to the project. So yeah, okay. So can you like share some tips on how probably like new designers can help contribute to this design and make sure like this like identity is communicated in their design, like what exactly should they focus on and what exactly should they be doing in order to make sure like their design communicate like their identity like you have suggested.
okay, like the first thing I would say, I always do, I don't look out for brief, like make sure you follow the brief, because every company, every contribution they're going to be taking for open source, they will give out
Mm,
brief. Okay, this is what they're going to do. This is your guideline. This is the color you're going to use. The typography you must use. This is how we want the spacing to be. This is how we want, you know, the hierarchy and stuff. So first of all, you have to consider that, respect that, and then put out your aesthetics, but you should like throw out the functional part of it. You shouldn't throw out the problem solving, the problem solving part of it. So and yeah, you always trying to like brainstorm, create your mood board, you know, ask questions. You have some stuff that kind of hooked up somewhere. Always reach out to the head of design for the open source organization or software. Reach out to someone that is close, someone that I've given the brief, because yeah, when working on this open source system or open source software,
mm,
you also have to be uh, careful, because most times open source software designs and logos identities are always taken for granted. Yeah, the platform designs can be great, the interface and everything can be awesome, but the logos are just there, you know. But you can make it cool, you can make it awesome, you can make it soft problem, and like the rest of the paid software out there, we can make it compete against paid software. It's going to happen. How will it happen?
yeah.
It will happen if you put out the energy, if you design it like okay, this is what we want, this is this problem we want to solve. Sure, it's gonna work out,
Mm.
you know. And like that's what I want every designer to like put in place. Go out of your limit, do some stuff, make researches, make. But I think I believe the more researches you make, the more ideas you get, and the more problems you get to solve. You know, if you check a project that you make researches in 2 weeks work on, and you check a project you make research under 2 months or 3 months, see that the results are quite different. So I always want to like engage. I make so much research, no matter how simple the icon might be, the logo might be. You see that there's so much research that I invested, so much iterations, so much the ideation process and everything that I invested to make sure that this logo gets to be simple. So like simplicity is not easy; it's hard, but people,
Mm.
so for it to be easier for you, you have to make research and make sure that it comes out with. And you should know that like the simple logos get to stick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's why the world is now trying to like divert to the flat icons, flat logos, because yeah, people are getting to know that like the vectorized logos and all those mascots are like ain't a thing. Like look at McDonald's, look at Mozilla's uh logo. You should see how simple it looks like, flat,
Yeah. I think
flat.
Mozilla has employed, like a couple of like community members to like give and share ideas because I personally have been in the Mozilla community, so I know like they really put in like a lot of effort in terms of things like this, which are concerned with design and everything.
So community, I suggest Open Source Community Africa, like what should I word? Like, you know about like the Linux community. I think that are the two I'm currently in. I don't have any one I know right now, but there are so many. I think you can just check them out on Twitter. Do some campaigns. They have some topics they follow and stuff like that. So if you get to like search open source open source software, you see that you see some companies that are always posting some stuff. So from there you can get to make inquiries about how you can be able to join, and that's it. But I was referred to join by my friends, Fox, Rachel Norfolk, to be part of this. So yeah, sure. I think like
Yeah,
being in a community will make you know more about the open source software. Most times you don't get to like, so persons that want to contribute don't know how open source softwares work. They are quite different, and they're quite different. And should being in the right community, being in organizations that share the same values and norms, you get to know more about how open source softwares work, and how you can be able
yeah,
to create an identity that aligns with it. Okay.
yeah. I just have a really good feeling, about open source communities, like I've said. I feel like they are source of inspiration and growth for like anybody out there who likes to contribute to like a particular project. Like the community is really helpful, especially given the communities like I've been in terms of like open source. So most of these organizations really have like groups, and I think community is really powerful. Anyway, so
Very powerful.
you talked, yeah, yeah. So you talked about like open source festivals that you have attended. So like, could you like tell us like the role like these open source festivals have played in your start contributing to open source? Like, was it really the open source festivals that drove your initial interaction with open source projects?
Okay. I think when I attended open source festival, Oscar Fest in Nigeria,
Yeah,
and after that, I think it's 2020, February 2020, and my insight
yeah,
changed. I used to hear about open source. I had friends that contribute to open source, but I think my insights changed about how open source works and how organizations work and how I can get to like contribute effectively. And when I joined, and I told you earlier, it was when I attended the open source festival that I got to meet with great person like the speakers, like Ashley, Aero Fox, National Flock, Mali Magami, and the rest. And they introduced me into other open source like communities. Like I forgot to mention, like Drupal. So it was
Yeah.
when I attended the conference, sorry, the festival, that I got into the Drupal family. Like said earlier, I was part of the track chair for the Drupal Con Europe in Barcelona. That happened
Mm.
online. So after that, because of how, I don't know if I did well, but I was part of the team that made it in Sussex, and I was invited again to become a program committee for Drupal North America. And sure, I think everything starts from being in a community and being like a midst of like minds. And if I believe that if I wasn't present, if Isaac Zara wasn't present on that day, I won't have met people I've met today. I won't have been doing this with you. You know, it all starts from
No.
somewhere. It all
I
starts from
know.
somewhere. So it all starts from somewhere. And you know, it started from there, you know. I started speaking at conferences, I started speaking at events, and got to meet some friends. Started contributing to open source software. Like first time I got to speak with like VLC, the president, VLC, like Video Land president, Jim Baptist came to like, whoa man, I'm speaking with like this VLC guy, the founder of VLC. Whoa man, this is quite huge. And sure, I got to
uh,
be on a one-on-one with him, and thanks to the like Edidion, she helped me pull this through. And so let's say like identity open source conference helped engage with so many people in so many communities that right now I'm grateful for, I'm so happy for. So my advice and encouragement to anyone that wants to get into open source is that start by looking out for communities that you can be able to invest time, solve problems with, know how to work, and also get to meet some persons that are into open source like me, ask me questions, you know, I get to read articles and Hashno, Dev2, and on all the rest. There you can be able to get insight about how you can be how you can contribute to open source. That's I think there's so many like repositories on GitHub. You can like fork. You can go to GitHub. You can see some open source projects on GitHub, up and right.
yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, sure. You can check out like job listings on open source organizations. You can see there's some stuff that are, like for you to do. But I always check, I always see stuff on my open source design platform where I get job listings of like, okay, this is what you have to do. Some are paid, some are not paid. I just jump on anyone. I don't look at the like the payment plan or stuff like that. So yeah, I think I believe that any designer that wants to like give back should start by contributing to open source, because it will not just make you learn, but to get you to meet amazing people, and it will increase your design skills, because you know the more you put out the work out there, the more people you reach out to, and the more you learn, you know, and the more you get better at your skill, because that, like, you know, I think practice makes better. And so far I've been contributing to open source. Yeah, I've been doing great, and I haven't got like a full time job yet, so I contribute to open source. Do that, and I will still be doing that even if I have my full time job. Okay, so that's it. That's like my advice
Yeah.
for you.
I think like open source is a commitment, like being into open source, and regardless of whether you have a full-time job or not, it's something that is really, inspiring to be around people, and you're
Yeah,
working on something that you feel like is touching other people. Yeah,
you
I
know, like
understand, like, yeah.
like there's this joy that comes with, okay, this is, hey, this person worked on this. Okay, hey, this person worked on this.
Mm,
Like gives you this, it gives you this kind of like feeling, like this kind of contentment. Whoa man, I did this, you know. So
I
that's the
know, I
thing.
know. I know. It's an awesome feeling, like to contribute
Yeah,
to to like a particular project, and then you see your work being recognized. Yeah, it's just an
sure.
awesome feeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like it's beyond being like, it's beyond just getting a spotlight, you know. You being able to solve problems, and you see your work, like doing the things out
yeah,
there. You see your work, like making someone happy, you know, like that's the aim. Yeah,
yeah,
thanks to everyone that actually got me to open source. Like I can't count them: Ariel Fox, Rachel, Samson Cody Perry, Rich Ikega, Didi Codes. sultan, like a lot of them, I appreciate because I'm also free to entertain any questions from anyone, like anyone that wants to get into open source. I'm sure to like serve as a bridge
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get more information on how stuff work.
Yeah. So anyway, you have continuously shared that you got inspiration from Samson Godi, another evangelist in like the open source community. So like basically, what's the message that you probably have for like let's say new contributors, and what about the message has impacted you and been so much of an influence to your journey like open source?
Okay, I didn't get that. Like, are you trying to say like, I want me to give like a word of advice out there, or
Yeah, so
like,
basically, what I'm trying to say is like you can give maybe like a word of advice, and probably what have you picked from maybe these people that has inspired you
okay,
to, to like contribute to like open source. Like, what about their message that they share?
okay. I've learned from them. I learned consistency, and yeah, sure. Area Fox is very consistent.
I know.
Consistency, yeah.
Yeah,
Area Fox, she's very consistent. Not like she, they are very consistent, and like I like the way they go about doing some stuff like put stuff out there, and like they also want to help, like let's say help everyone around. And so an advice, a good advice I've got for anyone that wants to get into open source is just get started. Like I said, look out for organization, look out for communities, because that's a good way for you to like thrive or grow. Ask questions, and Twitter is a great platform for you to do that, because most of open source folks are on Twitter. You can use the hashtag like FOSS or OSS. So that's why some of us can get to see the boss. Some of us have saved the hashtag. We have actually added that to our list. So get also and also try if I want to shoot shots. Okay, if you see some open source project that you see that, okay, I'll feel glad to contribute to this. Just go for it. Just go for
yeah,
it. They check
yeah,
out for organization. They check out organization job listings, because here you get to see some available jobs for you to work on and stuff for you to do. Go there and shoot a shot, and then solve problems out there. So, like what? Okay, you say something about inspiration I've gotten so far from let's say people around me. Yeah, sure. They make me let's say want to like contribute to open source, uh, like more and more, because after I'm done with each open source project, I always want to share it out. I always want to show people what I'm working on, and then the feedbacks gives me the energy and the pat on my back to keep on doing more, keep on contributing. So that's the thing. So and everyone cheering me up, I appreciate you. You are part of this journey. You are part of me solving problems. Because like I said, I'm not a robot. I'm a human being. So how about that other side gigs I'm working on? But I also do that with open source or open source projects, because I believe more in helping out, helping people, and I believe more in making sure that okay, this is me. Because who knows that who knows if probably this open source job listing is available for me to work on, and if I don't do that, it might not get better. So I always see any open source job listing or any open source brand logo design to work on as as a bridge for me to like do better, and then solve problem, and then show the world what I've got. Okay, so like that's it.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's one of like some great input that you've shared on this call, and I really want to like thank you so much for your time. It has been really an insightful experience, like talking to you. So I just didn't know like the things about design that basically speak to like an audience and can inspire like people to contribute, and I think this is has been really insightful for me, and it has been a very inspirational. Yeah,
uh
I really thank you so much for your time and really sharing
I
that
appreciate
amazing yeah,
I appreciate you,
yeah.
Marvin. I'm so happy this worked out. The network
I know.
issues and stuff like that was like, oh man, but I'm so happy we actually got to do this, and sure. I'm sharing my insight, and yeah, I'm grateful to be doing this for IMakeFOSS. And thanks to Ruth Ikega for referring me.
So
Yeah, I appreciate, I
it's such a
appreciate.
wonderful thing. You know, one thing I really appreciate is like when you get to meet, other force contributors, is it has like a lot of insights it gives you about some of the work they are doing out there, and it's really inspiring. Especially considering the fact that there are very, like a few people out there that are willing to dedicate their time and effort to put in the work to contribute. And yeah,
Right.
so it's just so inspiring to meet someone else who's
Yeah, like we're doing this.
dedicating the hours and the time. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah.
So you have any more questions?